Yeah. So like I said, sometimes you can't expect your kids to do everything they want you want them to do, and they can't expect you to do everything they want you to do. You have to sometimes think of a compromise of where you want to go. Now, for instance, when it comes down to me doing my own thing, you think of your parents not going to be on this earth for very long, and they have to accomplish something. I mean, at least whether it be one child do something or the other child do something so they can have something to look down at from above, but they don't think of it that way. It's not that deep to them. But me, it's whether you have accomplishments. What have you accomplished with your children or your parents to the last 50 to 30 years, whatever. It doesn't matter whether it's the youngest or oldest. It's when you have something that drives you so much and it gives you so much fuel and you have so much passion for it. You shouldn't be extinguished by your own parents when you've been extinguished by everybody else and anybody else around you. When every door has closed in your life to help you get funding for anything or doing anything, it's closed, and you expect your parents to help you and they can't and they won't because they think you need college, you need school. You don't, like I said in the other video, you don't need school and college. If you have a passion for something and you know how it works and you know have some understanding, build on that understanding, because there's nothing in this freaking world that you can learn in a classroom. You have to learn it physically. Like I physically touch this and I physically open this. That's how you have to learn in life, because no teacher, and I mean no teacher, could be able to tell you or teach you anything in lessons, anything in school, except for what they want you to know. And what they want you to know is not everything you need to know, because nothing helps you. In school, mostly when you have hormones and this, they just slap sex ed. When you have this, they just slap a lesson on it. It does not teach you nothing. And it's just a waste of time because you're just in a classroom for 10 hours a day, just learning about nothing. Half of the maths work they give you is chunks. It's uni work. It's this much. And just keep up with it consistently. It's not easy. Um, some kids can do it, some can't. And it's like, wow, 99.9% of children, I digress now. Well, 99.9% of children these days shrivel up like a dead snail with salt because they're in exams in too small rooms, or they're in exams with not enough time, or they're not prepared for it even though they've studied for it. And this happens to uni students. You got breakdown and panic attacks and you can't breathe. I've had a panic attack before. Last 2 to 3 years, 4 or 5 years ago, back when I was going to college, and it wasn't right. I was couldn't breathe. I was like asthmatic. I kept, deep breath and everything. It was crazy. Most people these days know what I'm talking about when it's a panic attack. I can't explain it. It has to physically happen to you before you explain it. But beside the point, you have missions on this world to accomplish. You have things you have to do. I was never speaking this way when I was younger because I didn't understand life. When you have somewhat of an understanding of what you want to do and somewhat of an understanding and intellect of things, you put forward and you put in that work and you work every day until you have nothing left to do. And when you make it on your own and you do it on your own, then your parents see what you've done, then they make the judgment. No, it shouldn't be that way. It should be how much money do you need? What are you doing? What are your prints? Whatever you do. I do t-shirt clothing line. You can do whatever you want to do. I don't know whatever everybody wants to do. There's no examples I can give because everybody wants to do their own thing because they're their own person for a reason. But just listening to this and shutting the hell up and actually listening to the full video instead of skipping by it would be really good, because it gives you perspective of my intellect. It doesn't just, oh well, this is what she used to say, oh well, she's just saying this, oh god, yeah, she's just saying this, oh my god, yeah, whatever. And then you want to speak. It's at some points in parents' lives, they just love hearing their own voice, as if I can listen to this all day and every day. It makes sense to me, but it doesn't make sense to the other person. My voice speaks more volume than yours because I'm your parent. No, you're not. Sometimes you feel powerless when you see your own child is going to sploom and brown and sprout bigger than you in life. And then that's what intimidates you, because you see them on accomplishing more goals and doing their own things for themselves so much so that it pisses your chakras off, it pisses your demons off, and it makes you feel little because you don't like people being ahead of you. You don't like people being over you. You don't like people being more better than you. Well, that's the whole point of your children. They're supposed to be better than you. They're supposed to be, smarter than you. They're supposed to be this, that, and the third than you. And that's something you're supposed to embrace and be proud of, instead of want to change and want to do differently. Sorry if you hear stomping. It's my dickhead of a neighbor above me. But anyway, I digress. You just have to do your own thing. Stop having people craft you and do this, that, third to you. You have to do it for yourself. Stand up on your own two legs and say, yeah, I want to do this, Mom. Well, you know what? You don't have the funding for this. You can't do it. Do it. Say fuck you and do. I don't give a shit if she slaps you. If she slaps you, there's truth in it, right? Say fuck you and go for it. Because at this point, you live now in a life where wearing face mask is normal, and taking an injection and fucking your whole genetic system up is normal, to the point that there's going to be a zombie apocalypse one day, I believe. Because there's more sheep in this world than there is lions. And this makes sense. Now shut the hell up and listen.